Alright, hey everyone. Excuse me. Let's start again. Alright, hey everyone. This is Ash. Welcome back to the King's Speech. So before I forget, first thing to mention is yes, I have a fan running because it has been hot as balls for the past couple of weeks. So fan running, if you hear a noise and you're wondering what it is, that's what it is. But like I mentioned in previous videos, it should not drown out my voice when I'm talking. It shouldn't be too distracting. Whenever there is a lull, if I'm not saying anything, if you notice a noise, that's what it is. Just finished recording Spy Family, so like I mentioned at the start of that video, I expect a channel update later today. Should be pretty short and sweet, not much to say. Mostly just been MIA from the channel just because the heat has been oppressive as hell and has just been making me super tired. And I didn't want to have to sit in here with a fan running at full speed, trying to edit out and deal with all that nonsense because that's too much work. So, yeah. Hopefully by next week read-throughs will be back. Like I said, channel update will explain that in full. So without further ado, let's dive straight into it with Kaiju number 8, chapter 66 by Naoya Matsumoto, with translation by David Evelyn and lettering by Brandon Bovia. And we see one of those military Humvees parked in front of these two giant, like the Fu lion dog statues. And Kafka's like, where are we? Shit. I have got to give Matsumoto-san credit for how detailed and well drawn this temple is. Like, oh, chef's kiss. It is just amazing, amazing artwork. Cannot believe this was done in a weekly series. Just phenomenal. And you see Hoshinaga and Ryune Shrine. People who've died slaying kaiju have been enshrined here since the Edo period, including my ancestors. And you see Kafka just looking in surprise as Hoshina goes, you familiar with the Dai Kaiju of the Maireki era? He said, yes, sir. In 1657 was part of a major cataclysm that reduced the Kanto area and the majority of Edo to cinders. The damage was so great it's featured in textbooks. And you see like one of those old school paintings on like a canvas with a bunch of like samurai with spears charging this giant kaiju, as a few of them have been like stamped underfoot. Yeah, back in those days, they had to fight kaiju in a much more primitive manner than we do now. The biggest watershed battle at that time took place right here. More slayers fell here than at any other point in history. Of course, if we die, we'll be enshrined here too. Gets you kind of worked up, doesn't it? Number 10 was right when he said Hoshina is a battle nut. Like, the man really is just like craves blood. Not bloodshed, but he definitely wants to throw hands. And then so he takes off like his outer jacket and he goes, now then, come on, bring it. And you just see like how muscled he is despite, his kind of like boyish appearance. And Kafka's like, wait, you mean here, sir? This guy said I'd teach you how to fight, didn't I? No suits or transformations, just a purely physical contest. I'm gonna see how much you've grown. Kafka's just like gritting his hands into a fist and he's like, well, in that case, I'll be going all out. It's like, that's the idea. We see him just taking up a fighting pose right in front of the shrine. And he seems kind of looking intensely focused. Oshina just does a morph. He's like, hit me. And Kafka takes the bait and goes woof. And he tries to go for a left straight, or is it a right straight? Yes, right straight. And Hoshina just casually dodges out of the way. And you see Kafka just trying to punch him, and Hoshina just dodging out of the way at the last minute. He's like, that's Vice Captain Hoshina for you. I don't think I stand a chance. And as Kafka's like trying to do another cross punch, Hoshina just does a counter, smacks his jaw to the side with the whoosh. And you see his brain's just been knocked down. And he's like, I can't go down with the fight, as he just does like the stomp to kind of orient himself. He's like, I've gained a ton of experience since leaving the 3rd Division. I won't give in until he's seen the progress I've made. He kind of steals and grits himself again as he goes in for another blow. And he's like, the fruits of my training. the growth I've gained from combat. I'll show him. I'll show him. I'll show him. I see that Oshna still is dodging out of the way and landing a couple of extra blows on Kafka. He goes in for the final one. He gets another blow to the jaw and he gets sent back. Kafka's like, it's no use. Nothing's working. I guess I can't do anything without transforming after a... And Hoshina goes, Kafka, you've gotten stronger. Kafka's just like surprised by this praise from Hoshina. He goes, judging by your physique and moves, it's clear you haven't slacked off a single day. Seems like you've been working hard here in Ariake too. But I have to say, he just guts him with a belly blow. It's like, this ain't gonna cut it. Do you have a gah? This Kafka gets sent sliding back. And Hoshina comes in for another blow. Kafka kind of steels himself to block. He's like, he's gonna beat me. I need to block the strike and lead into my next, And you see a tump. That's Hoshina just kind of just bumps him. He's like, it's the same as back then. You have a habit of relying on number 8's high specs, like its strength and regeneration. Keep up that devil-may-care fighting style and you'll be on the fast track. And you see Hoshina flashing back to his first fight with Kafka, where he did the exact same block when Hoshina went for the knife with him. And you see it squeeze as like Hoshina just goes back to a fighting pose. He's like, huh? Those moves. It's like they're becoming just another body enshrined here. And he just runs forward and he slams into Kafka's stomach again. It's like, it's just like the Director General's. And you see Kafka just sending flying back as his legs buckle and he falls. He's like, just now, was that? It's a squadron-style combat technique. A style of hand-to-hand martial arts based on long-standing kaiju slaying combat maneuvers. The same style that was perfected by Isao Shinomiya. Yes. He goes, there'd be no point to you learning how to fight using weapons since you can't unleash the combat power of your equipment. So I'll drill this technique into you till you're good and ready. Since we can't avoid your transforming, I'll make it a point to enhance your human combat abilities to limit the time you need to spend in your kaiju form as much as possible. As long as we live in this country, our battle with kaiju I don't know why the hell these words trip up my tongue. Cataclysms will continue. And the Hoshina just goes and picks up his jacket and dusts off the dirt and goes, Number 9 isn't the only kaiju. You're gonna have to fight for your future and be tough enough to survive beyond this battle. So you can try to steal my place by Captain Ashiro's side. And the only way you'll be able to carve out that path is through your own efforts and no one else's. And you see him just tearing up as he's like gritting his hand again. He's like, yes, sir. And Oshina smiles and then sneaks up behind him and gets him into a headlock. Goes, don't yes, sir, me. You that confident in yourself? Well, you lousy jerk. I ain't giving up my spot, you hear? He's like, what? So, but you were the one who encouraged me in the first place. He's like, alright, let's get back before lights out. He's like, yes, sir. He's like, enhancing myself, huh? I've been so worried about being needed as number 8 that I forgot what's really important. I need to level up too. And as he's leaving the shrine, oh shit. Oh, dude. And you see him looking up with a, huh? And he sees this armored warrior with this giant glaive just standing there, glaring at Kafka. God damn it! Ugh! And he has, who is? And he's like, shh, shh, with a little black lightning effect. And Oshina's like, Kafka, what are you spacing out there for? Let's go! He's like, huh? He's like, oh, right. And you see him just dashing away. He's like, what was that I just saw? Oh, you cannot do that to me! Alright, so I guess quick thoughts before we wrap up this video. So first thing I want to say is I'm glad Kaiju number 8 does something that I've kind of been critical of other series and like comics and things for not doing. And that's when someone gets superpowers, like, you know, super strength, whatever. A criticism I've always had is like, you know, why don't they learn how to fight properly, like, or incorporate like martial arts or some kind of fighting style or combat techniques into, you know, their repertoire? Because they always tend to, like, because they always have those moments where they tend to rely on the fact that they either have, super strength, super speed, whatever power, and, on the fact that, that's usually enough for them to take on, most minor threats. And then they end up in a situation, where that turns out to be not enough when you're faced with someone that's equal or greater to you in power, right? And then, there's always some kind of aspal power up out of somewhere. It's like, the power of friendship, or, I've discovered like a new laser power or something, right? Like some justification for how they suddenly were able to outclass this opponent that they fell to before. So I'm glad Kaiju number 8's kind of exploring that a little bit by having by having Hoshina have Kafka acknowledge that, yeah, number 8 is powerful, and like number 8 is powerful, but you shouldn't get too accustomed to relying on his power to solve all your problems, because that will inevitably lead to your downfall. Like it inevitably will let you down at some point. And if you want to get stronger to be able to face all these bigger threats and be able to take them down, like you have to push yourself to all your limits and not just rely on this power that you have to get you through everything. So we're glad we kind of got that acknowledgement with Hoshina telling him, like, Kafka, like, you have to kind of build up your human endurance, your limits. Like, you have to get to the peak of your human endurance and limits so that you can fully utilize the potentials and possibilities that, the transformation into Kaiju number 8 nets you. But also, you need to have something to fall back on in case something does happen where you're not able to transform into Kaiju number 8 or something happens with the power. We had this because I reread the whole series up to now this last week to kind of refresh myself on some stuff. And this was kind of like a key point during the Ant battle where number 9 took over Isao. It was like, Kafka's mental block didn't allow him to transform into Kaiju number 8 because of, the Kaiju inside of him or whatever transformed him into Kaiju number 8. The fact that it was able to overpower him and make him go berserk, Kafka was basically held powerless. So I like the fact that, Hoshin is kind of like telling him that, you have to have some kind of fallback because number 8 might not always be there for you, and relying on it could be potentially really dangerous. So you have to kind of basically keep all your options open if you're hoping to kind of make it to the top, be able to stand by Ashiro's side, be there when she needs you the most. So I guess that's like the one aspect of that I really like. I think the other aspect that I really like is like the last couple of chapters I think have done a lot to kind of show that a lot of people are trying to show Kafka or affirm for Kafka that that they don't just see him as Kaiju number 8. They just don't see him as a monster that either needs to be put down or leashed or controlled, and whose usefulness ends as soon as Kafka can either no longer transform, or him transforming to Kaiju number 8 would somehow be detrimental to the defense force. So I like how people are like, all the officers, commanders, like the fellow soldiers, all trying to break him out of that mindset, by trying to drill into him, his own potential, just as Kafka Hibino, and what, what his experiences and everything bring to the table apart from, what Kaiju number 8 allows him to do. So I like those little like affirmations we're getting that you're not just Kaiju number 8. There's more to you. There's more that you can do apart from just relying on this power that you have. But there's also the thing of like Hoshin is also obviously doing this. He's like, I don't want you to have to keep transforming to the point where more of your body gets taken over by Kaiju number 8, and there's like a point of no return from which you might not be able to transform back into a human again. So I want to be put that off as long as humanly possible, because I don't want you to have to make that sacrifice. So I just like all those little layers of that to this chapter into Kafka's training, which brings us to like just aesthetically, I love that scene with like the fog, like kind of the fog in the shrine, and the black kind of just the black shadowy effects used to draw on like this old style warrior with the glaive. So on the one hand, I feel like this is kind of just like a semi hallucination acknowledgement with Ocean's whole thing about like this is where a lot of warriors died in the past, and there's spirits basically rest here. So on the one hand, it could be taken as a yeah, this warrior showing up either as, I guess like as a nod, it's not the right word I'm looking for, but like I guess to acknowledge like Kafka's efforts and determination and spirit, and just to kind of show like this is like the history and like heritage of what you're representing and what you're fighting for, like the sacrifices of everyone that gave their lives here. But I also feel like is this gonna be a new character that they're introducing that's just there to fuck him up, and mess with him? Like, is it gonna be someone there? Because especially with the glaive, like it feels a little bit too specific with the glaive and everything. Apart from just like it just looks aesthetically cool, it feels a little too specific to be a one-off. But I don't know. Really, really cool effect. If it is just a hallucination thing, I think is really, really cool. It looks sick as hell. Really love it. But we'll see. Just I don't know what the fact that we're left off with like the what was that I just saw as a cliffhanger makes me feel like there's something more. But we'll see. Yeah, I ranted a little bit more than I think I want. Well, no, wanted to was expecting to, but I really like Kaiju #8. This was a solid, solid chapter. Looking forward to the next stuff and where this arc is going from here. I feel like we potentially might either need or will get a time skip, just based on the fact like Hoshin is like, I'm gonna get you combat ready. With #9 potentially needing more time to regenerate. I don't think it's gonna be like a huge one, but like a couple of months to maybe a year time skip, I think would be good, especially not only for Kafka, but also for God, why the hell can I not remember Blondie's name? Sorry, my brain is just so fried today. I cannot, for the life of me, think of why I can't remember anyone's names. Where are you, bro? Ichikawa, that's right. Ichikawa. So I'm telling you, he's frying my brains, but I feel like also just for Ichikawa to be able to also, perfect his skills and get more used to the pressures and limitations, like what #6's armor lets him do. I feel like a time skip would let him also potentially, kind of come into his own, so to speak. And also think, because on reread, like I wanted confirmation on this, but Kikoru's hammer did get, or not hammer, axe did get broken. So I'm still riding that theory train of she's eventually going to inherit her mother's armor and weapon and be like able to use that. So if that's where the next little arc is also going to go, is like her getting her own thing, so she can have her own like little growth spurt power up. I'll really look forward to that. That's it. I think I've spoken for long enough. So yeah, I'll end it here. As always, if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Like I mentioned at the start, expect Spy Family and Kaiju videos to come out today. I'll put out a channel update later as well with plans on when read-throughs and stuff are coming back. But expect more Kane Banashi and read-throughs to most likely resume next week, because I'll be going on break for the first 2 weeks of August. So during that time, I'm going to try to play catch up and try to catch up on this backlog of series I have. So look forward to that. Like I mentioned a couple other videos, if you would like to subscribe to my channel, that would also be a great help. And until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.